one of the important tasks in the basic series of group tasks. And this is the second task in the entire battery of group tasks. This is called group planning exercise. Now, group planning exercise is one of the synthetic tasks where you have to exert your mind, think and make your plans and share your plans with other members of the group. So in the nutshell, the primary objective of group planning exercise is to see vividly the factor 1 OLQs of the candidate. And what are the factor 1 OLQs? The qualities of mind. It means the GTO is going to check your planning and organizing abilities, which are called qualities of mind. And what are these 4 qualities which form part of factor 1 OLQs? The first is your effective intelligence, which is going to be vividly checked by the GTO. And what is effective intelligence? It is the ability of an individual to cope up with practical problems of varying complexity. The word being used here is complexity. As I want to tell you, there are 2 categories of problems that we encounter in our day-to-day life. One are called difficult problems and one are called complex problems. Difficult problems are those which require you to exert physically more, whereas complex problems are the ones which require you to exert mentally more. And here I am talking about qualities of mind, and that is why the word complex. So, ability of an individual to cope up with practical problems of varying complexity is your effective intelligence. This is not your basic intelligence, which is IQ. So what all it encompasses? It encompasses your practical work sense as well as your resourcefulness. Is your approach to deal with these problems is realistic, rational, logical, practically viable, or you are just beating around the bush and trying hit and trial methods? So this is one thing which is going to be vividly seen. And second is your resourcefulness. Do you have the capacity to make systematic and judicious use of the resources that are available at your disposal to get your aims and objectives achieved? And this is what is called your resourcefulness. You should not be wasteful in your mobilization of resources. It could be manpower, it could be time, or it could be any other material resource. How do you make use of these resources which have been provided to you is going to be vividly seen by the GTO through the execution of this task. The next OLQ which is going to be seen is your reasoning ability, and the crux of the reasoning ability is your grasp and understanding of the situation that is prevailing on ground. So the definition of the reasoning ability says it is the ability of an individual to grasp a situation well and then arrive at a conclusion by way of rational and logical thinking, right? Is your understanding of the context correct before you deal with it? So grasp and understanding will be seen vividly through the execution of this task. And the third OLQ which will be checked is your organizing ability. How do you organize your time, your resources, your manpower, whatever has been given or whatever has been made available to you? Do you have the capacity to use them judiciously, systematically, logically, using your own prudence and achieve your goals and objectives? Or you find it difficult to do that? And the last quality which is part of your factor 1 OLQ is your power of expression. Once you have made a plan, are you able to share your plan with others with absolute clarity and ease? Are you able to make them understand what exactly is the plan which you have made? Right? So these are the 4 OLQs which will be vividly seen by the GTO through this task called group planning exercise. So in this task, GTO will show you a model. A model is nothing but a sketch of a geographical setting which is drawn on a wooden board. And this setting is always going to be that of a village setting. Why village setting? Because I have to check your organizing ability. I cannot give you an urban and semi-urban setting where resources are available in abundance. I have to give you a scenario where there is some sort of resource crunch, and that is why I have chosen the most basic geographical setting, that is that of a village. And moreover, if a boy or a girl has come from a remote village who has not been ever exposed to urban life or semi-urban life, he or she should also be able to associate himself with the situation that is prevailing on the model. So the GTO will show you a model which will be a sketch of a geographical setting. So it means there will be few fields, there will be few villages, few roads connecting them, some metal road, pakka sadak, sadak, somewhere it is kacha sadak, somewhere it is pagdandi, somewhere it is a railway track, maybe some rivers, some ponds, or some lake or something. So this is a sketch of a geographical setting, what we call as model. So GTO will explain you this model. After explaining the model, the GTO will narrate a story or read out a story about this model, and this story is called narrative. And through this narrative, he is going to make your entire group of 8 candidates a part of the situation which is prevailing on ground, right? And while he make you part of the situation which is prevailing on ground, he will, make you confront certain problems. And these problems will always be 4 in number. 3 major problems and 1 minor problem. So when you encounter these problems, right, you have to identify these problems correctly so that your grasp and understanding is not under question mark. And once you have understood the situation well, identified the problem correctly, registered the timings in your mind correctly, then GTO will give the same narrative part to you to read for 5 minutes so that you can refine or fine-tune your grasp and understanding. After 5 minutes, he'll collect your these narrative parts back from you, and in the 4th stage of this task, he will give you a paper to write your solution on the sheet of paper, and for this he's going to give you 10 minutes time. So whatever problems you have noticed in the storyline, you will have to give your individual solutions for those problems. Suppose someone is injured, seriously injured, so how are you going to save his life? What steps will you take in order to save his life and make him come out of danger? So all these steps which are part of your plan, you will be jotting it down on the sheet of paper as your solution. And after 10 minutes, the GTO will collect your solutions back from you, and in the 5th stage of this task, the GTO will ask you to discuss your solutions with other members of the group and come out with a common group solution. And for this, he is going to give you 15 to 20 minutes of time. After the discussion is over, he will ask your entire group to nominate one person as the group representative, who in turn will be asked to give the group solution to the GTO. Whatever the solution group has agreed to, that solution he will be giving to the GTO. That is always the process of group planning exercise. We will be discussing everything threadbare in detail, right, as we progress further in this series. So before the task commences, soon after your group discussion got over, all of you are sitting in a semicircle manner as per your chess numbers on your chairs. In front, the GTO sitting on his chair. Between the GTO and the candidates on the floor, on a wooden stand, a model will be kept, and this model will be covered with a cloth cover. And that is the time the GTO will brief you about this task. Listen to the briefing attentively. The briefing for this task, that is group planning exercise, goes like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the task that we are going to do now is called group planning exercise. In this task, I will show you a model which is placed in front of you and covered with the help of the cloth. And thereafter, I will tell you a story about this model. In the storyline, you will find that there are few problems. You will be required to identify these problems and thereafter work out your individual solutions for the same. After having done that, you will mutually discuss and evolve your agreed group solution. Thus, unlike group discussion, in this case, you have to come to a definite conclusion, and that conclusion is your agreed group solution. Ladies and gentlemen, this task we will be doing over 5 stages. To start with, in stage 1, I shall explain to you fairly slowly but only once the model which I am talking about. Try to understand various features which are given in the model. After I finish my explanation of the model, if you have any questions, you can clarify it with me. In the second stage, I will read out a story about this model and you all shall listen. To help you understand the story in a better way, in third stage, I will give each one of you 5 minutes to read your copy of the story from a narrative pad that I will provide to you. After 5 minutes of reading time, I'll collect these pads back from you so that no further reading takes place. In the fourth stage, you will write your individual solutions to the problems that you have noticed in the storyline on a sheet of paper that will be provided to you. Time available for writing solutions is 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I will collect your written solutions back from you. And in the fifth and the final stage, you will hold discussion amongst yourself to evolve your agreed group solution. Time available for the discussion will be about 15 to 20 minutes. After the discussion is over, any one of you, does not matter who, may narrate this group solution to me. The person who will narrate this group solution to me will not get any extra benefit. Why? Because after having done the discussion for almost about 15 to 20 minutes, everyone is aware of what are the points on which group has reached a consensus. So that is all is the process of group planning exercise. Now I will be talking about the other salient aspects of this task. We will learn this task threadbare subsequently. As of now, thank you.